Alright guys, this is China on Kawaki, a new episode. Today I have my friend who is from India, and he is also my colleague. So I got some questions that I'm going to ask, and by the way, this is Niraj. And so first maybe Niraj, could you introduce yourself, like which part of India that you are from? Yeah.
So I'm basically from Delhi, the capital of India.
Oh and, everyone knows Delhi.
Yeah, but I'm like from the oldest part of Delhi, which is initially, like few years back, it was called Old Delhi.
But
now
Delhi.
they have changed it to just Delhi, just to like cut off the discrimination.
Okay. So you do like in Indian, the word discrimination is still a thing, like in your country. I think it is similar as China, because people judging, like Chinese people judge people like from different area of the country.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's not just the area you come from. It's also what caste you belong to, how much money you are earning, how much influence and social power you have. Social influence and social power, that actually dictates how much respect some other person should give to you. So basically, if you are a celebrity earning tons of money and you have a lot of influence over people, then people would actually give you respect. Oh, you are that celebrity. Oh, we are bowing down to you.
I mean,
stuff like that.
Okay. Sorry. I mean, this is like we can say, in general, it happens in the most of the place.
Yeah.
But the difference or the nuance is, if you can openly say it, or you can acting in that way in India, like I'm discriminate some certain group and talking in front of the other people, see
it
what
was
I mean?
actually true it was actually true when we got independence. It was quite prominent at that time, because of like segregation of the castes that India initially had, but Britishers just identified it and amplified it to times 1,000. So that's where this came from, I would say. But now it's not. People don't speak about it, but still practice it. People don't say that to your face. Oh, you are from that group, I won't talk to you because you are lower than me. But they would just not say anything and still try to avoid you. So that's the kind of discrimination. But that's in that I'm talking about cities now, metropolitan cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, Hyderabad, places like that. Not in the rural part of India. Rural part, it's still more verbal. They can say that to your face. Oh, you're from that group. I'm not talking to you.
I think for my feeling, it's almost like as similar as China. But another question is, you mentioned British, because as I know, like Indian was the British colony. I don't know how many years
200
ago.
years.
200 years ago.
No, more than 200. But we were a colony of Britain for 200 years. And then like in 1947 we got independence. So it has been more than 60 years.
But up to nowadays, do you think like the British or the Caucasian or the white people, do they still have the white supremacists in the country compared to the ordinary Indians?
Not white supremacy, but more like people giving preference to the color white. So so I would say, although the Britishers have left us, but they have put us so much impression on Indians that even though we are not captives, we are still bound or following what they have sort of imbibed in our nature. So it goes to casteism. It is shown in if you have white color, then you are superior to others. If you have money, then you are superior to other. Initially, before the Britishers came, India was more biased towards knowledge. So if you have knowledge, then people will be more respectable towards you.
Okay.
Now it's more like if you have money, then people will be more respectable towards you.
Yeah, economy. Make you status.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you have like a lot of Westerner like expats in India, like make a living or be?
Yeah. There are, but they are mostly engaged in the movie business of India, Bollywood.
Oh, okay, Bollywood. Okay.
Yeah. So people from all over the world, especially from Europe, like the girls from Europe are so beautiful. They come to India with nothing, and they get much more high pays and much more money than they can imagine and earn back in their home country. And some of them have even made like A-list movie stars as well. Some of them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's also happening in China, like similar things. White people can earn triple than the ordinary Chinese, and they are in certain industry actually. Not in like a labor market.
IT, I would say.
Yeah, IT. I don't think so, because Chinese got like IT code monkeys.
yes. I agree to you. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for you, this is like a private question. Because the Indian is also a big country, like it's diverse, and people from different background maybe have different perspective of the country. Are you from like are you from a relatively wealthy family or ordinary or?
So basically in India we have 4 classes. Initially it was 3, but then the liberalization came and we have 4 now. So it's poor, lower middle class, upper middle class, and rich. And rich, I mean, you can say rich has rich, filthy rich, and pissing rich.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like digging your private information.
No. For me, I would say I'm like upper middle class.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The reason that I ask this question is I'm asking you because you are coming to Europe and you are looking for better life, same as me. But your perception about the Indian, is it like a negative or it's even or it's positive? You still feel proud of your country?
It's a mixed bag of emotions, I would say. Okay. Because in some parts I am proud to be an Indian, and then such as my cultural heritage. I'm very much proud of it. The knowledge that we possessed, not possessed but possessed, was really good.
I do agree.
And now the intellectual part of it as well, somewhat not comparable to China or other developed countries like USA or like countries in Europe as well. People are much more intelligent here, but we do have certain contribution towards that growth.
Yeah, I can see that because you got like Indian CEOs in the company.
Yes,
try to
Microsoft, Google.
Take charge everything.
Yes.
So another question is, in India, do you have like a censorship, like information censorship? Because in China we do have like Great Firewall that's blocking Facebook, YouTube, everything. I have to use VPN to get on the real internet, you know. But in Indian, is that the thing, or it's totally free to access everything?
I would want to go back to the first to the last question because we didn't complete the part where we said about what I don't like about India. So what I don't like about India is that the discrimination that people do, whether instinctively or subconsciously towards people, that I don't like. certain people, they when they reach a certain influential status or affluent status, that they're somewhat rich, they act and behave in a certain way that they own the land. So that kind of behavior, that kind of I would say uneducated way to behave in the society, that this is what I own and you should bow down to me. That should not be there. According to me, I would say India is in a dire need to have more focus towards educating its people. Not just like education in terms of school going education, but more like giving them moral education, giving them education in how to behave in a society and how to behave in public areas, and respect towards each other. Although they do, but not all. So I just want to make it.
Well, you mentioned the good things. Do you think like Indian is moving towards to that way, like to respect the human rights?
We do, but at certain time, when a country which is as diverse as India, sometimes you have to be strong towards like strong arm people into doing something which they don't want to. Point in case, I'll give you an example. People in Sweden used to drive in the left hand side. Then they were told to drive on the right hand side. It was a change, but they believed in the government, in their planning, and that's why they did it. Similarly, people not always, in India as well, they would not always agree with the government, and which is fine because it's a democracy. You can say no to anything, but you have to understand the bigger picture, and if you can't, then just close your eyes, follow what the government is saying, and try and walk a little bit in their shoes or on their path and see if it works out or not. If it doesn't, then you can always raise your hand and say, oh yeah, it doesn't work for me, I'm going to jump. Things like that.
Yeah, true. One more question. Here in Sweden, do you think like the situation or the Western democracy is implemented way better back then than India, or it's a different way of practicing?
I would not say that here it's democracy.
It's a socialism.
Yeah, socialist country, but more like but more like people are still compliant. But then again, the newer generation, which is more influenced by, I would say, if I dare to say, US culture, or maybe the people who are the asylum seeker population of Sweden, which is coming here. So they also have their own perspective towards things and rules and people. So they are also trying to influence the Swedish society into forming something which is more acceptable and allowable towards people.
But I think they, Philip, Swedish are not very positive towards the Americans, right? They also talking.
They are not.
Negative.
Depends.
Yeah, I know it depends.
Now you're being diplomatic.
No, I mean.
Yeah, we
see it as a superpower, but we don't really
worship it.
Yeah.
Follow.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. Anyway, we can talk about that later. So go back to the censorship and the free flow of information.
Yeah. So India has started to do that to a certain extent, not to a lot, but to a certain extent. Like recently, because of Corona, there was a lot of, I would say, a good mix of misinformation and negative publicity of the country was started happening, and it had various partners or people who were participating in it, but then the government put a stop to it, and I think
it's a government activity.
Yeah, it's a government activity, but then again, they're not trying to suppress the voice of the people. They just want to filter out the misinformation and people who are actively seeking to damage the reputation of India on an international scale. And there are certain countries and people, I would say type of people, who are more interested in lighting something on fire and watch it burn, rather than just let it grow and blossom into something.
True. That's a question regarding to the corona. Because recently there was a severe or huge broke out in your country.
Yeah.
And
it's still going on.
it is still going on. Yeah, I know. Hopefully it will fade out soon, but I don't think I don't see it will be fixed soon.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, I mean, in China. So I'm going to tell you something regarding to India.
Yeah.
In China, the social media's always posting the coronavirus broke out in India, and they put like those burning crops pictures and videos posted on the Chinese social media, and try to tell the Chinese people how bad India dealt with the coronavirus, and then make a story like how great China is to
No.
What do you think about this kind of
but that's more like a state-sponsored brainwashing of the public, but because it's not just my opinion, but it's more like a fact that the whole world believes, not just me, that the coronavirus emerged in Wuhan.
Oh yeah.
And Wuhan is in China, not in India. If it is, then India has a long way to capture. they have to redraw the map a lot.
True.
But then coming to the crop burning thing, crop burning is a seasonal thing that we do, and that's because the farmers want to do a quick fix and not use the machines to dig out the crops which are already cut. They want to just do a quick turnaround and burn the crops, burn the remaining of the crops which is on the ground. So burn that and replant again. So that's like a seasonal thing. You would see that every year. If you go back in history, you would see that every year, and that's one of the reasons of pollution levels in Delhi. Because Delhi is like low-lying area, so when the crops burn in states like Punjab and Haryana, the air sort of flows towards Delhi and it gets claustrophobic now. But
regarding to the crops, and because I saw videos like or travel videos like people traveling around India, and they say like Indians dump the crops in the river or
crops, but do you mean to say corpse? Dead bodies?
Yeah. In the river.
But that's because of the huge influx of people dying because of corona. Even the places where they burn pyres of people, they are overwhelmed. Like there are places in Delhi that have basically taken over the parking lots next to the cremation grounds. They have taken over that to burn pyres, and they are burning like 300-400 people per day, and that's a lot of people. That's just one part of. I'm talking about just one part of Delhi. There are like 6 or 7 crematoriums in Delhi. So
it's quite bad.
Yeah, it's very bad. But now it's gradually becoming more stable because people have realized. Initially people were as skeptical as people in America that they didn't want to get vaccinated, but as soon as they saw that it's serious, then they started to like go and stand in line and to be more agreeable towards getting a vaccination.
True. One more question is if the virus was broken in, let's say, one city in India, let's say Chennai. People are trying to call it Chennai virus. Do you think this is a racism or discrimination?
No, I wouldn't say that. Because it's more like, well, it depends on how you look at it. If you are a person who is just identifying the place of the virus, then you would call it Chennai virus or Wuhan virus or China virus. But if you are purposely trying to besmirch the reputation of a country or a place, then that's wrong when you're saying that. So it depends on how you say it, with what perspective you are saying that. So,
Yeah. So anyway, let's come back to the last question, or I'm going to wrap it up because this guy is like getting bored.
I'm not getting bored.
Yeah. So
we can see him doing headstands.
one more question is, since you are coming to Sweden and we are living here, what is the main motivation that drives you coming along like 1,000 kilometers away, leave your parents, basically like families back in India, and coming to here to look for a new life?
So my main motivation to come here is to showcase my abilities. India has tons and tons and tons of people who have probably the same skill set or even better skill set than me.
Oh yeah.
But they can't shine themselves while being in India because there are a lot of people, and I'm just like really easily replaceable person.
True.
Here I can showcase and improve my abilities, and also by that also contribute towards my own betterment and also betterment of the country as well.
So basically you are looking for career development opportunities here. Okay. Do you think like if you are going back to India, the Swedish experience will be helpful for you to? Okay. Yeah,
because before even coming here, I was very much in sync or in tune with the Swedish way of life, which is more like lagoon.
Lagoon?
Yeah.
What's that?
Lagoon is like that you do things in proportion. You don't do something.
Oh, lagom.
Lagom. he
so
said
it's not too much and it's not too little. It's somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. Balanced.
Balanced.
Well, it doesn't really have a translation. It's just good enough.
True.
So it's more like balance. So I was in India as well. I was trying to be as balanced and as impartial as I can, but then people's situations are not allowing you to be partial, and there are times when you can't be balanced. You have to do weighing and go to some side or the other.
True. Just the last question. Since I'm Chinese, I'm Chinese. Because nowadays a lot. If you look at the news and if you watch CNN and all these news, the perception towards China is kind of negative. I have to admit it. Like people talking about China is trying to expand, and also we did have like not we, but the Chinese army like had some kind of certain level of clash with your
Indian army.
But we are not going to that part. It's too it's too political. So I mean. You have never been to China, right?
No.
But you like working with Chinese people, and you do have a Chinese team member. So for me, the question is, in general, how do you think the Chinese or China as a country, and how if you like to have friends and talking about China back home or here in Sweden also, what's the basic opinion, or it's like how do you see China as a country for someone like you have never been to China?
So I would say that I have nothing against the Chinese people. I would say the same is true for people from Pakistan as well. Because if I see that from that perspective, there's from political point of view, India, China and Pakistan are, I would say, mortal enemies. Word mortal is very much strong, but enemies.
Yeah.
From political point of view.
I think China is on the side of Pakistan.
Yeah. They are helping to get Pakistan strong so that they can emerge out as a stronger competitor to keep India busy, so that China can do whatever they want to do in Southeast Asia. But I don't see the people of China in particular any problem that they have something or I have something against them. From China as a country, I would say it's more restrictive and more governing, and more strong arming their own citizens into believing and doing something that the government wants. And it's the submissive nature of the Chinese people towards their government that makes them do those things. So I would not put anything out on the Chinese people, but more towards its government.
Okay. Have you heard the Wumaos, the Chinese internet trolls, 50 cents armies? Like if you make a video like criticize China, they will flood into that video and leave shitty comments. Have you heard that?
No.
Okay.
But I've heard that China has a lot of influence over its social media, and they try to
No, don't worry.
Control the outcome and control what goes out in the world against China.
Okay. Need me water.
Yeah, I had like
last question.
Talk about China.
Yeah. So one question follow up to the China question is: are you on YouTube all the time, or you spend quite a lot of time?
A lot of time.
Okay. Do you watch China content?
Apart from you, certain contents, but that's mostly related with like people building some new technology related stuff in China, or maybe like historical monuments built in China, Great Wall of China, about that, things related to that from that perspective. So more like related to progress, engineering, technology, not more like
controversial stuff. Is there any like China vloggers and news channels that you are following?
CNA. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not following, but they keep popping up in my news feed, in my feed. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, fine. Have you heard like China shows, like people, Westerner living in China, making videos about telling people how great China is?
Oh yeah. And I've also heard. That's actually yesterday only. I saw a video on that. Where a person was telling that China is paying big bucks to people like that to talk positive about China, so that they can actually sell that video to other people or to other countries and say that we are so good.
We call them shells.
Shell companies.
Shell, like
Shell.
Shell, like when you set up a food cart and you try to sell people food, then you hire someone,
to
stand there and try to tell the customer this place is great. So anyway, so
promotion.
So
Great.
So anyway, so I think this is a great interview. And I'm really appreciated that you supporting me for my content.
Yes, always.
And so anyway, I'm going to wrap up at here. Neeraj from India, and thank you very much.
Thanks, man.